Ready to rock and roll?
I am. You?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Hi.
Hey, everyone.
Thanks for joining us. Aaron and Jody Tuttle here.
Yeah.
Team Tuttle Realty.
Team Total Realty.
That's right.
We got a fun episode tonight. So we're going to talk about code words.
Yes.
So code words is what is used when you list a home, and it has all this certain verbiage that is used, and it makes it sound so inviting.
Right. We're going to break it down and tell you really what those words mean.
Yeah. So now when you look at any home listing you come across on Zillow or Redfin or own website or MLS, whatever it may be,
Right.
now you're going to have the cheat sheet of what that really means, right?
Yes.
So, hey, we like to unveil the curtain here. I mean, we lay it all out. There's nothing hidden or secret. We
right.
unveil it all.
That's right.
Some people may not like that, but I like to be honest, so we're like overly honest. Well, thanks for joining us. We're going to get to that topic here in a minute, but first, we do want a little bit of housekeeping as far as where the market is today.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? First, you wanted to do this, didn't you?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh.
I jumped the gun. Okay.
Oh, boy.
There it is. See it? She was like, oh, we got to show. Look outside because it's so
Do we?
pretty.
Oh, yes. Look
Yeah.
at that sunset.
Got a nice sunset coming up.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's no longer dark when we start these shows.
Yeah, it's a nice sunny day. Yeah, the days are getting longer.
I know. It's nice. You can get outside and do more stuff. You know, come home from work. It's a good mental feeling.
That's it.
All right.
Agreed.
So the other good mental feeling is anytime interest rates drop, and that did happen.
Yes.
Today.
Yeah.
Not much. 30-year fixed is now at 6.99.
As some people call that, that's the Walmart pricing.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah, 6.99.
Oh yeah, good point. So and of course 30-year for the FHA, which what a lot of new first-time home
Yeah.
buyers use. It's up 6.44, and so there's various ones always, but it's
Yeah.
been floating around 7% here for
The last
umpteenth months, I think.
Right. I mean, I know for the last week it was over 7.
Oh yeah, it's been over
So-
7 for I think over a couple weeks there. But the bottom line is we saw some surveys where most people are waiting for interest rates to go down before they make that big move.
Right. Correct.
it
But
is-
if you're waiting for those 5s,
Yeah.
you're going to be waiting until 2025 at least.
Yeah, if you're waiting for 5s, you're waiting for 2025.
Yeah.
That's the way that's going. All right, so let's take a look at the market watch for here in central Oklahoma. This covers the entire greater Oklahoma City metro area. So how have homes been moving?
They've been actually moving really well. So new listings within the last 7 days, 541. Sold, 463 homes sold, and 482 homes had contracts written on them. That's huge numbers. Those have doubled in the last couple months.
Yeah, which is
Easily.
right on par because things do get a little spicy over the spring season
Oh, absolutely.
as we head into summer. So these numbers will keep going up.
Right.
Now, you just checked behind the scenes of some numbers for what category was that? It was for the number of homes
On market?
on market.
Days on market?
No inventory. Like how many we had before we're exhausted.
Oh, yes. So 2.1 months of inventory,
And we normally average 4.
4 to 5.
Yeah.
is
So what that
average.
tells you is that inventory, even though it's improving, it's still
We're still below.
less than 50% below where we should be. Again, that's just because the market's pretty stagnant due to the high interest rates. Combination of home prices have gone up. So it's kind of a triple whammy effect,
Right.
of those that can afford or must do a home are the ones that are kind of in that market right now. And the rest are kind of hanging on because obviously they priced in the numbers and they said, look, I mean, I only make certain amount of, dollars and cents per month. So it's not in the cards for me right now. And that's totally okay. So we just
That's
have to go
right.
with how the market is doing. So right now, that's what the market's doing.
It's whatever you can afford monthly. I mean, there's still going to be those that have to move due to life-changing events, such as, a death in a family, your expectant mother, adding another child to the family,
Yeah.
job move, you're relocating,
Oh yeah, there's
so
a
you're
lot of different things.
downsizing.
Yep.
So call us.
Oh yeah. So anytime you just want to ask questions, give us a call. The number's always on the screen. You can text that number as well, and we'll answer any of your questions. Doesn't mean you have to hire us. So it's free. I my other job, I give out free stuff all the time. That's what I do for a living. So it's no different here. This is another avenue to help people out.
That's
so
right.
We're here to help you. Okay, so let's talk about the code words.
Yes.
Let's go into the topic, right?
Okay.
This is gonna be a fun
Let's do
show,
it.
and it'll be a short show.
It'll be short.
Yeah. And this is cute because when I got into this business, I'm like, how are you guys writing these home descriptions? She's
Right.
like, oh, just sit back and watch, right? Let me show you what 14 years experience will do. So let's go to the first one.
Well, now we have the choice of AI.
Okay.
To help us.
Get a little chat GPT action in there.
Yeah, you put all the house features in there, and it can write it up all for you.
You know, I have
Saves you
seen
time.
somebody sent me a link. This was on the weather side. But they sent me an article, and the way I was reading it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that sounds exactly like ChatGPT." It was cold, inauthentic, robotic, and I was
Right,
like,
well.
"Oh, that was a really bad write." But it was a
Right.
gloom and doom page, so it was basically tell ChatGPT to grab every shock word you could do and put it in a paragraph. So
Right.
yeah, it can be, that system can be helpful and or can hurt you. So
Sure.
let's go on with what's typically used in the realtor world, starting with the first one.
Okay, so my first one I have is cozy or intimate.
Okay.
Now, I'm sure we've often seen that in MLS listing ads. MLS is short for multiple listing service. So the code word, when a property is described as cozy or intimate, it usually means that it's small or smaller. Expect compact rooms and limited space, great for minimalists or those seeking a snug little abode,
Like a tiny home.
like a tiny home.
We've actually seen there's a big push now in some
Yeah.
communities for a tiny home.
Yeah.
Home Depot sells them. We saw
Oh my gosh, yes.
two examples. One was like $43,000. One was $60,000.
yeah.
For between anywhere from 400 to like 1,000 square feet, made out of steel and et cetera. So, you know, I don't know, it'll hold up very well in the Oklahoma weather environment, but maybe in other parts of the country that might fly. But yeah, just because people are saying, hey, you know, it's expensive. What can I get, you know, small that I can move into?
That's right. Would you
All
ever
right.
live in a tiny house?
You know what? I think I'd have a vacation tiny house.
Oh, yes.
You know, because maybe I could like a little spot somewhere in the mountains. You know, it's simple.
Or
you know.
by the ocean.
Or even by the ocean. Yeah, a little tiny house because you're probably going to be hardly in there. You're going to be experiencing the great outdoors. So it makes sense for that for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's
Agreed.
go to number 2.
Okay.
Go ahead, say it.
Charming.
Yeah.
We've often seen that word charming.
Yeah, it
This
sounds
home is charming.
sounds delightful, right?
Code
So-
word. While charming sounds delightful,
Yeah.
it often refers to an older home with character. Translation? You might encounter quirks, vintage features, and perhaps some renovation needs.
Okay, so again, cozy indicates small. Again, if you're reading a description of a home. Charming
Yes.
indicates character, which means, you know, a little worn in.
Yeah.
All right, we speaking of really worn in, this is the one we're used to hearing, fixer-upper.
Well, I've used that in the past.
Yeah, and that's kind of self-explanatory,
Well,
I think.
Yeah. So it's a property that requires significant repairs or renovations.
Yep.
Obvious. If you're handy or looking for a project, this could be a chance to transform a diamond in the rough.
And that's kind of what
Yeah.
the flippers do, like the home flippers. They'll go and they'll buy fixer-uppers that are, you know, maybe they can buy them for $80,000, maybe $100,000, and they'll go in and put in $20,000 or $30,000 worth of upgrades, and they'll do a lot of the refurnishings and the remodeling themselves
Correct.
to save on labor costs, right? And then then either sell it or rent it out.
That's correct.
All right, let's go
Yeah.
to number 4, potential.
Potential.
What does that mean if you say there's potential here?
It means that it has untappable possibilities.
Oh, is that right?
So it might need some updates,
Okay.
but with creativity, you can turn it into something very special.
Okay.
I personally haven't used that word. I have for a backyard when I'm describing the backyard as
yeah.
potential.
That makes sense because sometimes when you see a backyard, if it hasn't done anything to it,
Right.
I mean, there's potential there. You can do all kinds of stuff. But-
Absolutely.
all right, let's go
That's
to another one. And this is a common one when it's a little troubling and
Yeah.
it's like there's too much to do. You don't have the funds or the time to do it, and you sell it as is.
Yes. I've also used this
Okay.
many times. So it means that the property is just going to be sold in its current state or condition without any repairs. Buyers beware. You will inherit all those existing deficiencies or defects.
So you want to get an inspection then before you buy the home.
Yeah, you can. You can do it. You know, get a home inspection. That way you know what you're walking into.
Well, yeah, if it's as is. Otherwise, you're just going to accept all the trouble that may come with it.
Well, I know personally when I show a home, I turn on, you know, the stove elements, the oven, run water, flush toilets. I like to see if there's water dripping. Of course, there's more to a home inspection, just that, but that's what I like to do.
All right, so let's go with the next word, which is used a lot, and that is unique.
It is used, yes, unique. So these are properties that are going to stand out, but they might not fit the conventional mold. Expect something distinctive, whether it's unconventional layout, architectural style, or location.
And therefore, that may not even be a bad thing at all.
Oh, I think it's a great.
Unique could be actually a great term to use.
I think it's a great word.
Stands out, amongst everything else. So.
Absolutely.
All right, let's
Okay.
go with motivated seller.
Yes.
What is that? If you think about that for a minute, what do you guys think motivated seller means? If you just sort of sit back and go, what could that mean? So if you have an idea, put it in the comment section. And then maybe they guess it before you do, or before you tell them what it is. So while I wait for that for a second, so cozy, again, was small, charming character. Fixer-upper was significant repairs. Potential means untapped possibilities. As is, it's going to have a lot of repair there. That's going because it's going to be coming without repairs.
Right.
And then unique is distinctive.
Yeah.
All right, so
I like it.
motivated seller. So
So motivated seller is someone who's eager to sell quickly, whatever their motives may be behind that. This could mean a price reduction, negotiation flexibility, or willingness to consider offers.
yeah. And what puts someone into that position? There's no telling. I mean, it could be where,
Right. It's their own situation.
yeah, life, could have happened to them. Like, oh no, now I gotta, push this up quicker. Maybe I had some time to sit on it, but not anymore. So I'm motivated to get this thing off my balance sheet.
Well, or they could be moving and they have to sell the property. So they have to go quick.
All right, so let's go to the next word, which is quiet neighborhood.
Good. Right. Means isolated. Quite. Or lacks nearby amenities.
Oh, okay. Now there you go.
So always consider your lifestyle preferences, right? Consider the location of the property. I always say when you're purchasing a home, you're also buying into the neighborhood. So if it's isolated, is that something that you're looking for?
I do like the word quiet neighborhood. Just that implies, not a lot of craziness going on. That sounds nice. But how would you actually know that unless you
would you
live
know?
there?
Unless there's a neighbor or two outside when you're showing the property.
And you can talk to them and say, how is this neighborhood? And they say, actually, it's really quiet. We never have any trouble.
That's great. And I often like to talk to the neighbors if I see them outside.
So, okay, so then outside of that small percentage of an option, generally terms then it's just basically means it's not anywhere near amenities and or it's isolated, remote, out off in the distance, perhaps.
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
fair enough. All right, number 9.
Conveniently located.
Oh, this kind of taps into
I
that.
use that in all my listings.
Okay. Well, yeah, 'cause-
Conveniently located.
Sure. Convenient for who? Might be convenient for you.
Well, if you're quick to highway access, grocery store right down the street, schools.
Yeah,
It's all in one's perspective as to what they
true.
find as convenient.
And actually, that's kind of why the home that we're in, I liked it because it was conveniently located.
Yeah.
It's quick in and on off the highway, has all the stuff I need, neighborhood Walmart, etc., and all the other stores.
Yeah,
Now we got a
absolutely.
Homeland nearby. So,
Yeah.
I know, it's nice. So,
I can go one direction for the neighborhood Walmart, or I can go the other direction for Homeland.
yeah, and we got a lot of
kinda
places
nice.
to eat if we wanted to do that. So,
There's restaurants on every corner.
I know. All right, the last one. This is quick.
Yeah.
Diamond in the rough.
Yes, diamond in the rough.
Okay.
Means this property has a lot of hidden potential.
So it
It
needs,
needs work,
Okay.
but could become a gem with some little TLC, tender loving care.
Okay.
Now, these are just a few words that we've come up with. I'm sure there's more. Feel free to add to our list.
Yeah. Ask anytime. But yeah, so there was the top 10 kind of things you'll see usually
Yeah.
in a listing. And the whole point, obviously, of making those listings is to make that property sound desirable, right? So that somebody says, oh, that sounds really nice. I would like to buy that
Absolutely.
property. I'd like to go see that home.
That's correct.
And so the realtor's job is to kind of just spruce up the wording, be very positive, and use certain words like this that,
Yeah.
are somewhat kind of code words, but you now have the definition.
Well, they entice the buyers to want to come and see it, right?
Yeah.
Along with the pictures that are presented.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
I think so too. All right, that was good. I mean, normally we run on for like 30 minutes because we do so many deep dives.
Well,
This was relatively easy.
yeah.
So we do these about twice a month.
Yeah,
and
every 2 weeks.
When we first started out, it was like every week because there was so much content we wanted to produce and and inform you of in the behind the scenes and everything that goes on in buying or selling a home. There's so much that you do not know. And if you're a realtor, obviously you now understand it all, but my goodness, you have to drink out of a fire hose to get
Right.
that. So we were kind of dripping it along as much as we could. And then we kind of saturated that part, and then we're kind of backed off because the market kind of got slow. And it was like,
correct.
okay, so we kind of tackled most of the topics. So let's kind of step back and see where we need to revisit and or think of some new unique approaches or topics to talk about. So we know it was about every other week as it was going so far.
That's correct.
As far as Oklahoma goes, the market is still fairly healthy.
Oh yeah.
As we showed you earlier in the
Absolutely.
numbers, things are still moving. We already had some clients here to start off the year, so things are going well on that end.
Yeah.
If you would like to be a client of Team Total Realty, you can call us up or text us. I will tell you that we did a big show on NAR,
Yes.
the last one, and everything
2
you need
weeks
to know
ago.
behind that. So if you missed that, go back and watch the recap. I think maybe it was 20 minutes into it. But we tell you, the media is going to give you clickbait, and is going to kind of
Oh, yeah.
give you some assumption and some storytelling that's probably not going to be nowhere near reality or truth, of course, because that's not what they're in for. So we broke down what actually is going on that side of things. But the very, very short version, if you don't have time to do that, is you'll be still working with a buyer's agent and or a seller for a selling agent. And in each case, you sign a contract. So that's kind of the main difference. Some buyer's agents didn't have you sign a contract. Now it'll be mandatory. And then in that, you'll discuss compensation because obviously a buyer's agent can't work for free. They got to put food on their table as well. Same thing with the seller agent because that's what their job is, right? So that's negotiated on how much that compensation is from both parties.
And they'll still work out all the details because it hasn't been solidified yet.
Yeah, but bottom line is the cat's out of the bag. So it already has changed regardless of when, procedural-wise that thing settles. The only thing really that's going to come out of that from this point forward is how can buyers
Be
come up with the
represented.
funds to help the buyer's agent? Can they be rolled into a loan? What about VAs, which are special circumstances, and FHAs, and these other platforms? Says, wait a minute, we're kind of lost here. So there's
Right.
going to be some guidance and all that as to how that'll get worked out, because obviously there's going to have to be some help for the buyers when it comes to being able to afford the down payment, closing costs, and their buyer's agent commission to do the job to begin with.
And I'm sure some sellers will still be willing to
Yeah.
do what they've always been doing.
And we saw a little trick. We pay attention to these stories. You would not believe the number of stories that happen in this industry on just shady people. And I mean shady on all fronts. It can be the buyer, it can be the seller, it can be the agent, just all around human behavior of go to the corner, time out, And one of them that we just saw here recently was, I just drew a blank. It was I know it just killed me. Hold on
I
a
don't know
second.
what story you're thinking of.
I know. No, hold on. I get it. It was okay. It was for the seller, and it was a discount agent. All right. So the agent convinced the seller, hey, I'll practically work for free almost. Maybe let's say
Yeah,
they
we
had
don't know.
negotiated let's just go a number, random number. So that's a 1% commission. We'll just say. All right.
Hypothetically.
Yes, it's all hypothetically. But the agent knew all along there's no way they can work for 1% commission in this particular example because that doesn't keep the lights on, and that's not even pay for their time and all the expenses and marketing, everything else. Okay,
Tax man.
who knows? Okay, so fill all that in. So, but the seller thinks, man, I'm getting a great steal, right? This is the shady way that the agent now makes up the difference because they then do not answer offers that were made to the seller to buy the home. And why are they not answering the other agents that are bringing in buyers to the table to offer? Well, because they want to double dip as a dual agent. And so they ignore all the other offers as they work themselves at bringing in a buyer of their own. That way they can get paid from the buyer's agent to make up the difference for the loss of income on the seller's agent. So, because if they didn't, and if they just took another agent buyer in there, where they're stuck at that 1% discounted rate that they had negotiated. And then they wouldn't be able to double dip and maybe make that a 2 or 3% which is probably what they really wanted at the end.
Right.
So you have to watch for these just shady human behavior things of just the way people work to try the system and just scam others, and it irritates. I get so down
are
sometimes,
people.
on people and what they do. And I've seen it in all fields, and I'm seeing it in this field, and I just got, you got to be kidding me, right? So yeah, just be careful. If it's too good,
Communicate.
Yeah, and if it sounds too good to be true, you know what they say, it probably is. Everybody's, time is worth money, and it is time and consuming to do this on the buyer side and the agent side. So any agent that tries to tell you they're working for free, they're lying to you. They can't. Nobody can work for free. You can't pay the bills that way. So there's got to be a catch. So just be cognizant of that. Be mindful. Ask a lot of questions.
Yes.
Ask your agent as many questions you can think of, and you get down into their business. I mean, I'm serious. You get deep. You get that shovel. You say,
Oh, my
"Hey,
goodness.
if I'm only going to pay you this, how are you going to, how are you going to make rent? Where are you making up the difference?
Right.
Remember, because they got to make it up somewhere. So something's going to happen. So anyway, so remember all that. And if you go with the big, brokerages, I hate to even say brokerages, but big outfits, and the countrywide, there's a few of them there that will offer you some kind of crazy flat fees and cutthroat deals. Where there was a recent lawsuit that was settled where they're now, FTC, I think, said they're going to have to pay out $65 million in all of these little hidden fees and stuff that people thought they were getting a deal on by bypassing a traditional agent and going to these third-party services with really super cheap rates on selling and processing their homes.
I know Open Door is in the middle of a lawsuit right now.
Yeah, so there's lawsuits galore in this industry. And listen, I got no problem with that. If people got hosed, let them. They got to pay, man. So that's what you get for ripping people off. I'm not opposed to that at all. I hope all those companies that rip people off go under, and other people that rip people off on purpose. I got no use for you on this planet, man. Get out of here, So I'm all in favor of holding people up to do the right thing. We did have one question before we sign off. Let's see, Jeff. He says,
Jeffrey Wolf.
what do you think about home warranties? That's a good question, and we had an entire show about that.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think they're good. They're great. You should have one.
Yeah,
I
and
think everybody should have one.
yeah, we actually I think may have discussed it twice. This actually not that bad of a deal, price wise, and just make sure obviously you go with the reputable one. And typically, what they will either do is give you the cost, the cost of what the item was. Let's see, it's AC, right? It's usually the air conditioner, like the big one, right? And what they do is they will send out another company to try and repair it and fix it. And if they can't, then they got to pay you for what it's worth so that you can then get another one that's comparable to get you to what you currently have.
Right.
In other words, they understand there's going to be some attrition from age, but you still have to have, if it's a 12-SEER unit, you still got to have a 12-SEER unit, because it has to be able to fit the entire house and to cool it all down based
Correct.
off square footage, et cetera. So, they can't really, mess you up in that aspect. But it's like any insurance, their way they make money is they hope that very few people file claims versus the number that has the insurance policies.
Well, Jeffrey, if you're looking at getting a home warranty, you can always message us, and I can get you in touch with ones that we
Yeah.
are familiar with.
That's correct. Yeah, we've met a lot of people in this industry and vetted a lot of them. So, because our names are attached to it, right? So
Absolutely.
I don't want any nonsense or funny business that I'm, doing business with. So
That's correct.
there you go. Okay, I think that's a good question. So thanks for that.
great, yeah.
And for tuning in. And the rest of you, again, thanks for tuning in and joining us for this episode of Market Roundup, Real Estate Roundup.
That's right.
And we'll be back again in another couple of weeks with another topic that you'll be interested in. And go back, feel free to watch any of the videos that we've had in the past. The only thing that's maybe dated on those is just the front end where we say hello, we look
Right.
outside, it's a little chit chat about whatever. You can always fast forward the first 4 minutes of that and get right into the topic of the video. And all of
right.
those topics, they're still standing. They don't expire. So the information you'll learn there is valuable. And if you're in this process at
absolutely.
all of buying or selling a home, you're going to want to know all these things. That way you're prepared and you'll know what to watch for when you work with your realtor to know if they're doing a good job or not for you.
That's correct.
All right.
Good job.
Well, text, call, anytime. There's a number on the screen. What is it?
The phone number?
Yeah, I like to throw you for a loop every now and then.
405-467-1785.
That's good. You got it memorized.
Yeah, I do.
Or you can always go to teamtotalrealty.com. You can always find information there. And you can sign up there as well just to look at some houses too if you're interested.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we're here to serve.
That's right. We're here to help.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see you on the next
Yeah.
broadcast.
Thanks for joining us.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.